What is important when you sign a contract is to know if the quality assurance is handled by the provider or not. I mean, will you need to test each and every checkbox of your application? Quality assurance takes time and it's a real cost. So if the provider is pretty cheap or if you use a freelancer, usually that means that you will need to test your application by yourself. So what to take into considerations? The first thing is to have several environments. One for the developer, one for you, the test environment, and the production environment for the real client. And the question to ask to your technical team is, are you doing unit tests? Unit tests are automatic testing, and there are several approaches. The unit tests, the TDD, the test-driven development, or BDD, behavior-driven development. When we use automatic tests, we usually have less bugs. Some developers use it, others don't. What you need to keep in mind is that quality relies on tests. If you want a high standard software, you will need a very well-proofed test process. Some startups prefer to go without test at all. That can be fine, but that's a bit more risky. It depends on the stage of your project. I even know serial entrepreneurs that prefer to make developers responsible for their works and don't run any test at all. In my opinion, of course, I prefer to have automatic tests. But the real requirement for me is to have a scenario to test the entire application. And for that, I just recommend you to create a Word document with screenshots describing the workflow of a classical customers, how they buy, how they chat, etc. up to the end of the funnel. Actually, we call that a test plan. Share it with your friends and your family every time you have a new version to evaluate. Then, it's going to be boring after a while. In that case, just move on offshoring. That's a great option to evaluate and to improve the quality of your product. They are going to run what we call acceptance tests. And that's a real requirement before publishing in production. The last thing I want to touch on is the stress test. It allows you to simulate thousands of users, not only to evaluate your infrastructure strength, but also your source code quality. There is lots of solutions available for it. So keep it simple and keep in mind that tests equals reliability. And that's a real requirement for the development as well as the growth stage. The last part of the development phase is the security one. And there are a few methodologies that are worth talking with your technical team. And that's what we are going to talk about in the next video.